Okay, we're recording. Woohoo! All right. I'm gonna just do a quick review on what we did yesterday. Some of you guys were kind of flying through this yesterday, and you kind of know what's going on already. There were some people in here. I'm not gonna name names, but man, you were lost. You had the biggest thing that you were doing was not adding those 5 keyframes at the beginning. So I'm gonna do a quick review here again, and we will show you how to do this. All right. So I'm going to import a couple pictures here. Import file. Here's my glorious desktop. We'll bring in a Major League Baseball logo. It's almost baseball season. I know. Import file. Bring in my drum kit. Hit open. And then we'll bring in one more file here. This one right here. All right, so I've got 3 pictures in here. Everybody with me here? Sweet. Now we're going to make a new composition. So there's 4 signs around this room, and they tell you what to do. So we're going to go up to composition, new composition. We're going to name it Touchy Thursday. NTSC DV widescreen is what we want. Don't select HDTV, please. NTSC DV widescreen, 2997, that's what it's going to default to. Starting time code is 0. We're going to go full resolution for now. And then your duration, how long you want your project to be. Right now it's at about a minute, 59 seconds, 28 frames. How many frames are in 1 second? 30. Very good. Depends on what you're filming on. Okay. So there's 1 minute. We'll hit OK. It's going to bring up our record window and all of our other stuff. Here's my project. It's called Touchy Thursday. Let's bring down, let's not do that one. Let's do this. Major League Baseball. When it brings in the picture, it's going to bring it in full size. I'm going to shrink this down to 50% so I can kind of see what the picture looks like. This little drop down right here, this little triangle, I'm going to bring that down. Some people couldn't find that yesterday, so make sure that you're paying attention to this. And then once you have that down, we got to drop this one down also. So there's 2 triangles or 2 drop downs that you have to put in. All right. So we're going to rescale this, bring this back. Some people like the black bars on the side. I'll probably take points off if I see black. If you have all of your pictures are like this and you're just surrounded in black, I will take points off. Okay, and I'll show you how to make another background on that at some point. Okay, because it should be, if we're widescreen here, it should be filling the whole entire screen. So it should look something like that. Okay. So, all right, okay. So we're going to put in our 5 keyframes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is another thing that some people were doing yesterday. They would actually grab this and move it over. That's a no-no. You can't do that. That has to stay in that spot. So I'm going to hit Control-Z. It's going to go back. Those 5 keyframes right here, those need to just stay right there. You're done with them. Okay? That's the starting point of this picture, what that picture looks like. If you want it slightly rotated, you could do that. If you wanted it a little bit bigger, you could do that. Okay? So those 5 keyframes are just going to stay there. All right, let's go forward to 5 seconds. All right, I'm going to make one quick change here. Go forward 5 seconds. Now, when you go forward in time, whether it's 2 seconds or let's say let's make it 20 frames. Let's not do 5 seconds. Let's make it 3 frames. We're going to make this a 3-frame move. We're going to zoom in just a tiny little bit. We're going to keep the ball in there. When you see this little line right there, it's making that motion happen. So if we were to play this back, it's going to move.
Oh, wow.
If you want that move to happen quicker, that happened over the course of 3 seconds, what you could do is you could just grab these keyframes, move them over, and now that move happens a little bit faster. Okay? If you wanted to change the ending spot, let's say we wanted to have it zoom in a little bit more to the white ball. Make sure that your cursor is on top of those keyframes, and then we can zoom that back in. Try not to have that black space on the right side. So we got that. Also, another thing. Eric, what's going on? Okay, let's keep the mice down on the tables. The mice. The mouse. Keep the mouse on the table. All right.
Hey, he's the one taking a video.
Would you guys like to run laps?
No, I'm good.
Anybody want to run laps? I will send you to Mr. Miller's office, and then you may go run laps. He will watch you. Raise your hand if you would like to do that.
I'd rather pass.
Okay. So, if there's going to be any kind of nonsense or complaining, we're going to have to, I'll have you just stay after class, and then we'll deal with it later. Okay. It's a very, very good idea to turn on this title action safe. You want to have your action safe grid and also your text, or your title safe also showing so that you know what's in the shot. We have 2 keyframes here. If we hit play, it's going to load it in. It's going to zoom into that spot. Okay. So the 5 keyframes, where do they stay? At the beginning. Do we move them? No, we don't. We go forward in time. We tell the picture what we want it to do. Once we tell it what to do, it's going to add in whatever keyframes are happening. Let's say we also had this rotate. Put in slight rotation. Now when I put a keyframe there for rotation, it's actually going to rotate. If I did not put that rotation keyframe at the beginning, here's what happens. It just stays that angle the whole entire time. So the picture has to have a reference point. What do you want it to look like first before it rotates? Otherwise, it will not rotate. It will just stay at that one angle. Okay, so let's rotate this back. It does. And you can kind of see there's a little bit of rotation still. It stops and then it still rotates. It's because the keyframes aren't lined up. So let me show you this a little bit. I'll go to a little bit more extreme. So now it goes out. It does its move. Hold on. Does its move and then it rotates. If you want it to rotate and move all at the same time, these keyframes have to be lined up with each other. So this is what it would look like. Okay? Questions on that? All right. Still recording. I'm going to delete these 3 keyframes. I'm going to have it just do something different. We're going to zoom into the guy's face. I'm not going to put any rotation on it. It's just doing a zoom. Okay. Now, this is I did this with the teachers on Friday last week. I had the picture fade in. It did its move, and then it faded out. So pay attention to how you do this because this gets a little bit tricky. The opacity is how thick or how, if you can see. Can you put the laser pointer down on the, I don't know who's doing that, but we don't want that to happen. All right, so opacity, we're going to bring that down to 0. So the picture is gone. I'm going to hit play on the space bar. I'm going to hit pause. Play, pause. At this point, I'm going to add another keyframe. It's going to fade in. Play, it fades in. I'm going to have that fade in. It goes a little bit longer. Fades in. I'm going to have the move take a little bit longer. So I'm going to stretch these keyframes out a little bit. So we will go to 5. So it's zooming in. And then we're going to have it fade out. Now, in order for it to hold its value or hold its thickness of the graphic, we have to have After Effects remember what keyframe value it is. So the opacity is at 0 on that one. This one is at 100. Now we want it to fade out right here, correct? Okay, so the opacity right here is going to be 0. Here's what happens when you don't put in what I call a hold keyframe. Fades in, then it starts to fade out, and it's out. What I want it to do is fade in, be strong, be all the way up, and then start fading out. So what do I have to do right here? Add another keyframe. What's the value of this keyframe going to be? 100. 100. Enter. So this is what it's going to look like. Fades up. It's doing its move. Zooming into the guy's face. And it fades back out. Okay? Questions on that? We're going to make it just a little bit more complicated. Because yep, I know. So it fades in, does its move, and it fades out. All right, so that looks great. Now I'm going to add in one more picture. That's why I wanted you guys to bring in 2 pictures. All right, so I'm going to shut the eye off on this top layer, Major League Baseball logo, just because I want to see this whole entire drum kit. So I'm going to open up the drop down, Each picture has 2 drop downs. This time I'm going to actually zoom in, or actually I'm going to zoom out. So I'll go into like that, there. I'm going to set my 5 keyframes right here for the drum set, and at 5 seconds I'm going to have it zoomed out. I don't want black, don't want Mr. Touch to take off points. That was good. I'm going to hit play, zooming out. I also want it to fade in and fade out. So bring my opacity down to 0, play, pause, 100%. When I change that value of 100% and add it, it's going to add another keyframe. This one is 0, this one is 100. You guys getting this? And then at the end, when it reaches the end right here, I'm going to put in a keyframe of 0. It should be 0. And then I'll add one right here, make that 100%. So here's what it looks like. Zooming out, and it fades out. Now, I'm going to turn on the other layer, and we're going to do a cross dissolve between the 2. You can see on the first layer where it's starting to go out, right here, the Major League Baseball. As that one's going out, the drum set is coming in. You guys see that transition? Fading out and fading in. If I wanted that to happen a little bit longer, I could pull this over. When you pull that layer over, all those keyframes go with it. So let me show you again. Hit play. So your assignment today is not to spin anything. It's not to put in 15 layers and put in Gaussian blurs and everything like this. Your assignment today is to do this. Put in 2 pictures, fade it in, fade it out. Then the next picture comes in, fades in, and fades out.
You want to move or zoom in or zoom out?
Oh yeah, it should be something similar to this, where it's zooming in and zooming out. Yep. So we call this the Ken Burns effect, in case anybody knows that, wants to know that. Okay.